Hello and welcome back. Today I want to talk to you about probably the most powerful way to really get to the core of your healing on your spiritual journey. And it might sound counterproductive, so just bear with me on this. But the number one technique that I have found that has exponentially allowed me to dig deep into my own issues and the things that I truly have control over is this one thing, and that is to consider that everything is your fault. Now, I personally, I don't like the word fault because it just has a lot of bad connotation to it, So fault just seems very heavy, but I love the word responsibility. So if everything is your responsibility, what does that look like? First of all, when you're looking at everything being your fault, everything's your responsibility, you're actually looking for what you have control over. And so often we hold on to things that are not within our realm of control. It is someone else's responsibility, but we have either been told, or we, especially empaths, we just take it on as our own and we own the hell out of it. But when you have to look at it and be like, everything is my responsibility, everything's my fault, it actually forces you to be honest with yourself of what truly is your responsibility and what isn't. Because the truth of it is you're never going to be able to heal the things that are not your responsibility. You just never will. I mean, you can hold on to them for the rest of your life, but you will never, ever be able to heal them. So that is why that's so important, first and foremost. Like I said, it forces you to recognize what is your responsibility and what isn't. The second thing is that it allows you to stay out of victim mentality. And this is the biggest part. Healing will not come to you when you're in victim mentality. It won't. Victim mentality is just an endless cycle where it's like, this happened to me, I went through this. And I mean, it doesn't, not being in victim mentality does not negate the fact that you have a past, and that past may have been very hurtful. And I'm not trying to negate that. I'm not trying to argue that. I'm not trying to make that go away. You can't change it. But you do have control over if you're going to bring it into your present and into your future. And that's the part that I'm referring to. So ultimately, when you're looking at your traumas or the things that you have gone through in your past, from the victim mentality, it's just you keep almost like it's like you keep reliving it. Your brain does not know the difference between you actually reliving it or you thinking about it. So my question is why do you want to do this to yourself? Most of the time we do this to ourselves because we don't know the difference. We don't know anything. We don't know not to do it. We don't know how not to do it. So that's why I found that this video was going to be so important, is to give you some tools to be able to navigate through this. When you can look at things that it's my responsibility, it's like, okay, why? First of all, you got to recognize what you're thinking, what you're feeling, whatever that is. And you're going to ask yourself the questions like, why am I letting this person upset me? For an example, I'm just going to keep it very simple. Why am I letting this person upset me? And a lot of the times you're going to realize that the reason that you're upset is because you feel like you could have done something different. So a lot of times that you're angry at yourself, you're upset at yourself because maybe you didn't stand by a boundary. Maybe you don't even have a boundary. Maybe you allowed someone to mistreat you again. And the last time you said you weren't going to do that anymore. It might be that, you trusted someone again, and someone completely different, someone completely new, but the outcome was still the same. So a lot of the times when we are stuck in the victim mentality, we're actually angry at ourselves for not knowing better. And I have said this before, and I will say this 1,000 times. You cannot judge the person that you are now the same as you judge the person that you were before you went through what you went through. That person that you were when you went through before you went through whatever this is, that version of you did not know what you know now. So you cannot judge that person. That's not even fair to judge that person the way you judge the person that knows, because you went through it. That's why you had to go through it, was to become that person that now knows. So to continue to chastise yourself constantly for the rest of your life, because it's just absolutely redundant to continue to beat yourself up because, oh, I should have known better. That's easy to say when now you know, right? But when you didn't know before, or maybe you were hopeful that things were going to be different. You know, this is where you have to have quite a bit of forgiveness with yourself, compassion for yourself, and ultimately love for yourself. So you need to let yourself off the hook with these things. When you can recognize, okay, this is where my power is, this is where my responsibility is, you can start to take your energy back from that situation. So I'm going to give you an example. Last week, I had someone from my past kind of sort of come back into my life a little bit. And honestly, it triggered me. There is no other way to say that. It triggered me. My mind instantly went to the woulda, shoulda, coulda, and all this kind of stuff. And I was just like, you know, like, why did this person do this? Like, why did it turn out that way? Like, why? And the truth of it is, before this person came back into my life, before the trigger, I didn't care. The whys, I don't care. Because I would have to find out from that person why they did what they did, and I let that go years ago because I don't care. I don't care to have any discussions with this person. So I let that go. But it was all coming back, and it was all coming back. And so I sat down with my journal, and I realized, I was like, okay, what exactly am I angry about? And what I ended up uncovering, like, what is my responsibility in this, in my triggering? And what I realized is, yeah, I had let go of the scenario between me and this other person. I had healed all of that. But what I didn't do was recognize that I had still held myself responsible, because time and time again, I gave in to this person, and then I was the one that got screwed over. So I was like, okay, I have to forgive myself for that. There is nothing I can do about that now. That version of me was very trusting of this person. But moving forward, I get to decide if I'm going to be continue to be this trusting of that person. My answer is no. I refuse to ever be trusting of this person ever again. You know, it's once bitten, twice shy kind of thing. But for me, it's more of a three strikes, you're out. and this person is definitely out. So from now on, when I have to have any kind of like anything that comes up with this person, I have to come from a situation of, you know, I might bend a bit, I might compromise a little bit, but I'm not going to give in. Me giving in and getting nothing in return is not okay anymore between me and this person. Like I said, I will still compromise within reason, but my ability to compromise is not the same as my ability to completely cave. And that's where I was angry with myself, is because up until this point, sorry if you can hear my dog choking here, so it ultimately comes down to how I respond, how I choose to respond moving forward. And this person has shown me who they are, and that the relationship that, you know, I thought maybe we had at one point just was not a reality. So all of that said, that is where we have the control, and that is where it's so important for us to be able to stay empowered and stay within our realm of what we actually have control over, because we don't have any control over changing the past. The past happened to teach us the lessons. All we can do is learn the lessons and move forward. And that is the greatest thing, is once you realize where all of your responsibility is, you can start to empower yourself rather than continue to re-victimize yourself. I hope you have found this video informative. Thank you so much for joining me, and I'll see you back here next time.